You finding yourself tired from feeling weighed down by carrying all of the emotional baggage with you everywhere, kind of want to get rid of it and be free of it, let go and enjoy life without that. Hey human, Coach Nate here with another mindful focus to share with you. Today I want to share about breaking free from emotional baggage and getting a fresh start. Emotional baggage occurs from where us having poor experiences with that stir up, cause, create emotional reactions and responses. And sometimes those can be deep emotions. Those can be very painful, deeply wounding experiences. We can find ourselves then becoming consumed by them, by asking why. Why did this happen? Why did this person do this? Why are they behaving in this manner or that manner? Why did they say those things or do those things or cause that or talk about me behind my back or treat me in that way? That then can lead into us asking things like what we're saying. That's not fair, right? You didn't do anything to cause them to treat you that way, but yet here we are, and then ruminating over it, thinking, going through your mind, what could have, why caused that? What did I do? What could I have done? Why would that? And then we replay it over and over, and that's one situation. And then if we practice that same approach over and over and over and over, and it almost then becomes rote, it becomes a habit, we accumulate more of that baggage over time. We almost like we're even attracting it because that's where our mind is. That's what we're thinking about. That's what we're focused on, and holding on to it. And then it becomes very heavy to carry with us. It reminds me of someone who and until I learned to let go, I would when I have to go from point A to point B, I'd have to pick up all the emotional baggage of my emotions around the toxicity of the relationship, the challenges, the mistreatment, and just to take two steps forward, I've carry all this baggage and heaven forbid I go down the block and carrying it. Sometimes it's multiple trips. Think of it like suitcases, and I'm bringing one, and then I got to go back get another, and then I got 20. It becomes very hard to navigate, to move. It becomes exhausting to have to carry that everywhere. It impacts our perspective. Sometimes we can't see around all of the luggage, the emotional baggage, if you will. It can impact our view of ourselves. That's really when it gets into even more dangerous territory because we're just surrounded by all of this. And having all of this baggage, carrying it everywhere we go, as a constant reminder of where we don't want to be, or the uncomfortable, or the painful pieces, bits, negatively impacts our behaviors because, again, imagine yourself everywhere you went, you got 20 pieces of luggage. And that can then sabotage our growth, our outlook, any achievements, any our relationships, our careers, our lives, because we have all this baggage that we're carrying around. And sometimes that baggage is forgiveness. It's letting go, or unforgiveness that we're carrying. Yes, there's much to be said about how difficult it is to let go of this that we've become comfortable with. In misery, people can become comfortable in misery because it's something that we're familiar with, we've grown accustomed to. And in that, then we can be easily triggered, like having a hair trigger, finding ourselves hyper vigilant, hypersensitive, because, again, of this wall of baggage, emotional baggage that we have around us, because that's what we see and that's our view of the world. So, sort of like trying to look between those. Our reward for carrying on all this emotional baggage is stress, anxiety, a deterioration of our mental health, a degradation of our ability to cope and manage and navigate, being quick to be emotional or be angry, having not being clear in our perceptions, misreading things, and leading to, up to, and including a degradation, decline in our physical health. I recall the doctor saying to me very clearly when we talked about stress, and he said it not only can it mimic the very diseases that can kill you, but there's studies to say that upwards of 83% of illnesses are not genetic, but they can be tied back to stress. So here we are carrying all this emotional baggage around, putting ourselves through all these mental gymnastics of carrying all of this and harming ourselves in the process. So somebody else injured us and they wanted to. They're winning. We're helping them. All right. Enough of that negativity. How do we let go, live now, win? One very important step is to ask yourself honestly, how does carrying all of this serve or help you? How is carrying all of this emotional baggage helping you? It may be a barrier or a wall in front of you, but is that impeding your growth or is that preventing others from getting to you? More than likely, it's preventing your growth. The next step then is, once you realize it's not serving me, it's weighing me down, is to be determined to let go of, to purge, to detach from what does not serve you. When I finally just said enough and walked away from all of those bags of emotional unforgiveness and said, I'm done. I'm not carrying this with me anymore. I'm not going to weigh myself down. This does not serve me. There was a freeness, there was a lightness. I was able to then experience again what it is to be agile, to be able to move, to make progress, because I'm not weighed down by all of this. And that is when we let go of it. On the other side of letting go, we're able to look back and see, wow, I didn't realize I was carrying all of that. As we work through that process of letting go, then there's maintenance. All right, so we've identified it doesn't service. We've let go and purged it. Then we have to be very intentional about observing our thoughts and any emotions that are attached to those thoughts. We can have a thought about something that we may recall, and if we immediately attach a negative emotion to that thought, cheeseburger. Well, I ate a cheeseburger last week and it made me sick. 3 months from now, if I'm hungry and I really like cheeseburgers, if the first thing I do is think about and it was just that one isolated incident, it never did before and hasn't since, that could taint that experience of something that I enjoy. Again, very simplistic, but understanding and being aware of and observing our thoughts and then challenging those thoughts. Is it true? Is it factual? Is it a thought? Is it an emotion? Is it something that I legitimately need to be concerned about? Look both ways before crossing the street, busy traffic. Or is it just recalling a past experience that I'm bringing forward that is having a negative impact on my thought process on this? And then I can get rid of that thought that I just challenged. In this process, there's healing that needs to occur. And part of that is processing our emotions, which begins with acknowledging them and then accepting them. This is how I feel. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel disappointed. I feel disrespected. I feel whatever emotion that you are having, acknowledge, embrace, sit with, experience, allow yourself to feel it for a time, and then release it rather than denying it and ignoring it or putting it back in a little bag in a suitcase and setting it here. No, we're opening you up to the extent that you can. Sometimes you have to open and extract a little bit, process it, and close it up for the day or for the hour. But the intent is I'm going to work through this with the goal of being able to release it, not having it stay with me and carry it everywhere I go. In that process, practicing self care is crucial because you're using your energy to work through this and that can deplete it. You've got to refuel, re energize so you have the energy to continue working through this, to the emotional energy to let go of that. And it does take energy is a fuel source. You've got to replenish that. Finding healthy coping mechanisms, strategies, techniques, approaches, whether they be breathing or walking or activity or exercise or watching something funny or a conversation, or so many on the self care front, but something positive and also something that can help shift your focus to something that refuels as you work through this process of it sometimes starting over, of letting go of all of this. The intent or goal there is to embrace rather than suppress our feelings, to let them free. And by that I mean suppressing is taking the item and putting it in the suitcase and I'm going to carry it with me. Expressing, embracing and expressing our feelings is I'm opening up the suitcase, the baggage. I'm opening up whatever it's wrapped in, and I'm either going to consume it, experience the feeling, and let it go, or you're past your expiration date. I've had enough. You need to go. And if it's a negative feeling, I'm not going to donate it. It goes in in any regard, not accumulate, but get rid of, let go, disperse. So we're not carrying that, weighing us down, and we are free. We're free to be ourselves. We're free to breathe. We're free to live our lives without being encumbered by what has happened in the past. Could even be happening now. The more we build and break free of that, the less even the present wears on us. We're choosing to arise above the mucky muck and live our lives to its fullest potential, experiencing the good, working through the bad, but certainly not accumulating it and carrying it with us. Emotional baggage can be like hoarding. And as if you've ever seen one of those episodes, all of that stuff that they've accumulated entraps them, the individuals. They may feel like it, they may seek solace and comfort. That's not healthy. And it can some ways endanger them. So when it comes to emotions, don't be an emotional hoarder. Don't carry emotional baggage. If you've if it's past its useful life, if I've experienced whatever that emotion is and now I'm done with it, now it's time to discard it and move on and grow forward. Just sharing some insights with you. Feel free to try them or toss them. Both of those can be correct answers, but only you can make that determination for yourself. If you like this content or it resonated with you, please do give a like, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell so you know when I post additional content like this, and consider sharing this with somebody else that may be helped from it. But above all, remember to let go, live now, and win.